distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly, so get it in your head.
Check the backseat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Huskers are headed to the locker room, and it's time for Big Red Overreaction. The live postgame show with all the info and opinions you can handle. Plus the most important voice of all, yours. Big Red Overreaction is presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. Get on the line now at 402-951-1620 and sound off on Big Red Overreaction. Live on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Oh, thank goodness. The worst part of the schedule is over. We can actually start watching real football games again. Welcome, everyone. Big Red Overreaction. I'm John Bishop. He's Matt McMaster. Nebraska winning it easily today, 59-7. And we got you covered here for the next couple of hours, 402-951-1620, Prairie Flower, or excuse me, Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Got to apologize for that. Of course, today's show brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by No Name Nutrition, live a better, healthier, more natural life. Well, it went exactly as we thought it would, didn't it? And, second half, I was glad to see it was all backups.
Yes.
No messing around. I wasn't too keen on calling the timeout at the end of the first half. I know they were wanting to work on their 2-minute offense, but I didn't think that was necessarily a smart or a decent thing to do. But outside of that, went to the backups in the second half and saw a lot of TJ Lateef today.
Yes. I am so excited that we no longer have to talk about what would your reaction be if this was the score of this stupid game. You know what I'm saying? Like am the amount of, and I'm sure you guys get it too. The amount of how would you feel? It was 35-3. How would you feel if it was 28-7?
Right.
I'm glad we finally get to break down Michigan, Central Michigan film and try and figure out if they were a really bad team and whether or not Michigan was actually good today when they played them at home. So,
well, Michigan, we will talk about that today, I am sure, because Michigan, in their first game with the Biff Poggi experience, they put a big number up today against Central Michigan, and they decided to do something that folks were probably wondering if they were going to do it at all, and that is run the quarterback.
I know.
And just in time for next week. So there'll be plenty of consternation about that. But we'll talk Michigan a little bit later. Obviously, this is your chance to overreact to today's game. I guess the only thing you can really overreact to initially was first drive ended in a field goal. What is going on with the red zone offense?
They gotta get 7, John. They gotta get 7. Field goals aren't gonna beat Michigan. They're not gonna beat these other teams. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know, but the drive, everything was going well, and then I wasn't watching at that time. I was in the press box in the first half, but it looked like Dana wasn't too happy with Isaiah Hunter on something.
It just stalled. It was just a very natural football. Hey, it didn't work out. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna kick the field goal. Take your medicine. Whatever. I mean, it was. I've never been happier to not watch Dylan Raiola play football today, which was really, really nice. And I liked that they played them in the third quarter last game. I was a fan of that because I did think they needed to clean some stuff up. Very happy that they got in and got out, and none of your front end starters. I think that's the most important thing. None of your front end guys got hurt. And that is
right.
You just walk out healthy. You walk out confident. The secondary thinks they're on top of the world and the greatest secondary of all time. And now you get to take on a formidable team next week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Not only can you hit us up on the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline, and we've got lines open for you right now. We are going to go to Matt Rule momentarily when he is ready to speak to the media. 402-951-1620. You can also hit us up on Twitter at BR Overreaction, or if you're with the hardy souls who watch us each week on our YouTube channel on zonetv.live, especially if you're on the YouTube channel, you can actually comment and we can respond to some of that as well as the show goes on. But we're here with you for the next couple of hours. Got some really good college football games coming up in this mid-afternoon window, including Georgia, Tennessee. But I don't know if you saw it because I know you're getting everything set up in the studio. But how about Georgia Tech?
I saw it.
Georgia Tech.
Now I got to get into an argument with your co-host about them because I was all over the Clemson Tiger train, and they're off. I don't know if you're watching the first half.
I didn't see the first half. No,
they were terrible. The offense was absolutely awful. I mean, Clemson. Cade Klubnik looks nothing like the number 1 overall pick that everybody was trying to convince everybody that he would be. So, shout out Georgia Tech, by the way. They've been playing some decent football last 2 years. Some big wins too. So
now all of a sudden the ACCs are looking a little bit different.
Oh, I don't know. I think Miami's got it. I mean,
you think Miami's got it?
I think Miami's looked really good. I think, Miami plays a big game today against USF, so we'll see how good they actually are. They're a 17.5-point favorite in that one. So I think that'll be a very interesting game. And it does get interesting.
Don't forget Florida State. Don't forget Florida State.
I won't.
And I don't believe Miami plays Florida State, do they?
I don't know. I can check right now.
I don't believe they do.
I wouldn't know.
I got my K Ford in front of me here. Let's see. Florida State.
They do. Next in October 4th.
Yeah. So mid-season. So that could be for the conference.
Yeah, after SMU lost to, SMU still is pretty decent, but they didn't look that great. Their defense was terrible against Baylor, but I think Baylor's pretty good. So we're still in the moment, John, of college football where we think we know things and we definitely don't know things. We know zero.
Yeah, and that's and honestly, that's part of the problem. And by the way, as commissioner of college football, I would never allow such games like today to be scheduled. But that is honestly the problem with the last 2 weeks is sure you get some work in, and these games are really good primarily for the backups, but we really don't know yet what we have with Nebraska. I do believe that the Dylan that we're seeing, and he was 15 of 21 today, had a drop. So he really was 16 of 21 for 222 yards, couple of touchdowns. Played really well last week, was very efficient, if not spectacular, against Cincinnati. I think that's sustainable. I think we have definitely seen Dylan turn a corner, move to another level. But yeah, for the rest of it, we don't know how the run defense is going to be.
No.
Right?
No, not at all.
They did allow Edwards to Mike Rozier, Nebraska today with the sideline to sideline run. So, the rushing stats could have looked a lot better. But again, these two teams, I said it last week after Akron. I said, is there a chance that Houston Christian could be better than Akron? I don't think so.
Yeah.
These two teams, we've done the study. These are the worst back-to-back opponents in terms of Sagarin ranking that Nebraska has ever seen. So it's really going to be hard to tell just what is real and what is not. The good news is next week we start to find things out for sure.
See, I was thinking about that before you mentioned it, before I even got in the car. I think Dylan might be the only thing that you could really be like, all right, that for sure has gotten a lot better, and you can try. And the secondary too. But
I would
knew
say the receivers, the secondary we kind of knew, but the receivers too. Dane Key had another huge day. These guys, this receiving group as a whole looks better and deeper than they've had it.
And the perimeter blocking. Good Lord. Yeah. I haven't seen it as good as I did today. But what I mean by that, John, is I didn't have too many questions about the secondary. I didn't have too many questions about the wide receivers. I was pretty confident that both of those units were going to be good. I definitely had questions about Dylan. I doubted maybe at times of can he get some of this more mechanical stuff in the pocket done? And he has. He's stepping up. He's avoiding sacks. He's being quicker. He's okay with taking the 5-yard curl or whatnot. That's sustainable. Everything else on the team, the pass rush, no clue. Run defense, no clue.
Yeah.
The linebackers, to a certain extent, I kind of know and I don't know. But it's been good to see a lot of different. I love that we saw a ton of Rex Guthrie today.
Oh, we saw a lot of Rex Guthrie.
I was a
Guthrie
fan of
today. Just looking, and I can't. I'm just looking at the participation chart. Guthrie, by the way, led the team in tackles with 6 today. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Counting on the radio is fun. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28.
What are you counting?
Looks like about 31. I count 31 defensive players.
Okay.
who
Just
who are
wait till
who are on the live stat
just,
monitor.
Just wait till PFF comes out, John. You don't have to do the counting. They do the counting for
Well,
you.
but PFF's not going to be out until tomorrow, and the show will be over, hopefully.
Save it for the Grum. save it for 2 to 6.
Why not?
Count later.
402-951-1620. Let's get to one call here before we go to Matt Rule. Matt Rule to be speaking from the podium here shortly. We'll go to that when it is available. Here is John up first on the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Hello, John. Thanks for waiting. You're on Big Red Overreaction with John and Matt.
Yeah, for comparison, because we played two basically powder puff teams the last couple of weeks. How has Cincinnati been doing since we played them?
Oh, great. They beat Bowling Green last week.
And today they have, as I flip pages here, today
Northwestern State.
Oh, dear God. Well, we're not going to.
Oh,
and by the way, they just kicked off that game. So, yeah, we're not going to have much of an indication on Cincinnati. I think, taking a look.
They beat Bowling Green pretty good, though.
They did. They did beat Bowling Green, and Sorsby had 3 bills through the air. Let's see. Cincinnati, we'll get a better picture on them.
Yeah, they play Kansas next week.
Okay. Well, that's right there. I mean, we'll get a much better picture when they play Kansas.
But at that point, we won't care because Nebraska would have played Michigan, right?
True.
So it's just like you'll get the measuring stick that you
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
All right. John is our first caller of the day. You can be our next caller, 402-951-1620 as we await Matt Rule.
Can I read you a great comment on our YouTube chat?
Of course.
From Jericho.
Hell, you can post it. You put it on the screen if you want.
Oh, here, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Look, I don't really
no naughty words.
I don't really handle the StreamYard and putting comments on the board. This same game would have been 26-16 win under Scofro after Nebraska scores a late TD. Everything looking different now. Second through fourth teamers playing as hard as the first teamers. I love that no matter what, they could be 3-0. They could have scored what? It's going to be 127 points in the last 2 games. Yet we still have to say, under Scott, it would have been different. It would have been painful. By the way,
I will be curious to hear what Matt Rule has to say because last week he decided to press that button about not closing out, and he lit up the team at halftime. We saw the leaked video.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the communication will be like this week because I had a feeling, even though Nebraska could have named their score today, I had a feeling they would try to dial it back a little bit just because they've got a relationship with Houston Christian. They've worked some camps with them down there in Texas. And that they wouldn't really let them have it. And you could tell by the play calling and putting in the backups immediately in the second half that they weren't really trying to go for the jugular. But I will be curious to hear, what his message was to the team today and whether or not they accomplished when the starters were out there, whether or not they accomplished the idea of getting better week to week, because it's really hard to tell by the score.
I do think that you can say pretty confidently that Nebraska has gotten better since Cincinnati. Like, I don't think you can. I don't think that you can win these 2 games and these 2 matters and not improve in some way, shape, or form. So, I mean, we had this convo earlier in the week. Like, I don't know how many times you can really go to the well of leaked video and massive screaming rah rah shish kumbah speech. Like, eventually, it should be. I mean, it should just be standard. Hey guys, you should go out there and score 38 points against an FCS school that their only win is against an NAIA team. There's, and I think that's what they're working toward, and I think that's part of the reason why the speech was given last week, because that was kind of the next step in the evolution. But
I asked Michael this on 1620, the pregame this morning. I'm curious what you think. Was it a little early to push that button?
No, not at all. Because I think that button is so much of a different button than the other ones that they're going to have to push later in the year, right?
Yeah.
They're never going to play in Akron again. And they're never going to have the opportunity to be up 33-0 and just stack points on a team that is significant. All right, we got Matt Rule, by the way. He's coming.
All right, let's go to Matt Rule here, live from Lincoln.
Appreciate the crowd, the people that were there. It was a hot day. Appreciate them staying all the way to the very end. And really excited for Terrence Bud Crawford tonight. I want to wish him the best. So with that, see what questions you have.
Was that your hope to just get 2 good quarters from your top today? And what would you say about those guys in the first half, how they performed.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately go into every game like it's going to be a war. I think when you do that, you don't ever get in there and say, "Oh shoot, I wasn't ready for a fist fight." So I was ready for a fist fight. With that being said, I'm happy that we were able to play those guys and then get to the half. We scored 38 points. Just not happy with the last drive on defense and the last drive on offense, the 2-minute drive, and that is something that we're going to need is the 2-minute offense. So we'll have to go back and look at that. But I thought beyond that, we were extremely efficient and tackled well. Looked like we were physical. We played the 2 defense and the second to last drive on defense. Put the whole group in, so we were able to get them in early, and that was really just as much just the heat. And we have good players on that group, so we need to get them to play. So a lot of guys got to play a lot of snaps. TJ Lateef, I think that's a golden day for him, right? To be able to play that many snaps. Cortez Mills to make that big play, catch that many balls. Isaiah Mosey, all those guys. So it was good to get a lot of guys real reps. You know what I mean? Like in the second half, coming out of half. A lot of times, like last week, we put the ones in to start the second half. And this week I thought, what does TJ need? He needs to be sitting in the locker room. What are those guys? All those guys are in the 2s. They need to be sitting in the locker room like, hey, I'm going in. Like have that time to think about it. And then they had to go out and perform. And we got the stop on defense. Then we went down and scored on offense. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, I know that it wasn't perfect, the non-conference season.
It was, we were 3-0.
Yeah, but yeah, well, I'm the feeling. But how happy are you about what progress you made about moving into the Big Ten season, where you guys are at?
Yeah, I think you take everything with like a grain of salt, right? Like, I mean, we haven't played the caliber teams we're going to play. But all you can do is measure yourself against, where you are and the standards that you have. I thought we played an excellent game. The first game in a lot of areas, or some things that just, and some of those things are still showing up, like the field goal on the first drive, and our ability to push the ball through the red zone and all that. So we're going to continue to have to get better. So I don't think it's great. I'm not a big, sometimes you hear me say the word like narratives and all that, but I think that's true for coaches. Coaches, sometimes we have narratives. Oh, we're doing this well. Just take it, watch the tape. This is good. This isn't good. And then some things that look like they're good right now aren't going to be as good versus, a different opponent. So, you just have to keep reacting as the year goes on. I think we're obviously a significantly better team than we have been. But the road gets a lot harder. If we stay where we are right now, we won't win a lot of games moving forward. We have to improve. And so this was improvement from last week. I thought the week of preparation was excellent. I said that to you guys the other day. I said, we'll have to wait and see how the game is. And I thought the focus on Friday into Friday night wasn't always elite. After I had said that, it was kind of and it was really more young guys. And I thought the older guys, I have to single out guys like Sierra and Marquise and Deshaun and the whole O-line and Dylan, kept bringing it back to, hey, this is the standard that we have. And, I thought a lot of guys did a lot of really good things. So we have a long way to go, but, to be 3-0 and to play a Power 4 team and dominate the 2 teams we're supposed to dominate, that's all I can ask of the guys.
Is that what you thought Quentin Ives had to offer coming out of the spring? He was highly regarded. I know he had the setback in August, but is he now where you hoped he would be at the beginning?
Yeah, and I have to go back and watch a lot of it. The interesting thing is in all 3 games we've had the other teams have tackled us really low, and we don't tackle low. So I think we've had a hard time reacting. This week we did a lot of drills where we were ball security drills, punt return drills, where we're throwing bags at guys' feet, trying to simulate that. There's not a lot of low tackling teams in the Big Ten. And so I'm anxious to see how exactly, I'm going to watch this film here probably about 10 minutes. I'm anxious to see how exactly all of that looked, but I thought you saw a lot of production out of him, out of Quinn. And I thought he caught the ball really well. And Quinn, unfortunately, he hurt his hamstring in the summer, came back and then hurt it again in camp. So he was stuck behind, a bunch of really good players, but with Mosey having to go out to the slot, and he's kind of playing, they're kind of playing like that 2-back stuff with him, but so he's not full-time there anymore. Quentin's gotten an opportunity, and he's done a good job, and he gives us a big back and a big presence. So I'm anxious to see, him continue. But I think he's a starting caliber player in the Big Ten, and I've always felt that since he was a freshman. It's just been about, we've had some pretty good backs, and Ramir and Anthony Grant and a lot of guys, and so he's just had to wait his turn. And when he gets an opportunity right now, he's doing a nice job.
Was Makai Nelson available today, Coach?
Yeah, Makai was my decision. He was available to play. Makai's a wonderful young man, but we have some standards. But I had him available. I didn't pull him out. I was going to, if we had a couple injuries, he was going to play. But, I wanted those other guys to play in front of him. And once the game was out of hand, there was no use putting him in there. But I would have played him if needed.
Coach Butler had talked about this week. I mean, he didn't really care about the shutout. It was more about playing to the standard. And obviously, you probably have to watch the tape a little bit. But did it just feel like on the field the defense played mostly to the standard today?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you score on defense and, you make them punt that many times, I think that's excellent. We had some times where, we had some soft coverage and we gave up some throws. I don't know how many yards they ended up with passing. So we missed 3 weeks in a row of under 100 yards passing. Sierra did a great job moving into the slot and playing the nickel, which let Donnie and Marshall go outside and start. And then Jameer came in and played well. So I thought, for the most part, a lot of those things looked good. You hate the one long run. We had him tackled in the backfield and he reversed out. If the guys trust the things that we say, when we might say track the near hip, I might say that more than I say go big red. And we didn't track the near hip. And so we got burned on it. And so that'll teach us something. But I thought the guys came out. I'm sure there'll be lots of things, when you pick the film apart, but for where we were and for the opponent we played, I thought they played pretty well. Looked like we tackled pretty well, and we got to the quarterback today, which is good.
It's just a situation where, you're going to enjoy this one for 24 hours. Or do you get a sense your team's really ready to flip the page at Big Ten?
Yeah, they were. I mean, Dylan was talking about doing his Sunday workout today. I asked the guys, I said, I told them enjoy it, but to show up tomorrow ready to go. And again, I'm going to make it very clear. It's not about any one opponent in the Big Ten. We're now in Big Ten play. We played 3 non-conference games. We're a proud member of the Big Ten, and it's a challenging conference with a tough schedule. We're going to play a lot of great teams. We have to show up every week and improve. I mean, the first thing we have to do is improve before we even get to the game. And so, I think the guys will be ready to go tomorrow, and we'll have another good week.
I know you expect Dane Key to produce plays, but how nice is it for him to have a 100-yard day kind of going into the Big Ten play?
Yeah, I mean, and last week, Isaiah got off early, and Dane really didn't get his first catch till late in the game. It's just kind of how, however the teams play you. I was really happy. There was a severe wind down there. I mean, it wasn't as severe as it can sometimes be, but to hit that deep ball into the wind, I thought was really, really important. And good to see Dane catch the ball and have the catch and run touchdown. So, we have a bunch of guys. Corey got off early, so we have a bunch of guys who can catch the ball and make plays. Good to see Tezzy, Cortez make a couple plays. So, and you see the way we're trying to play. Before the game was kind of decided, it's 3rd and 1. We take a shot. We're trying to throw a post for a touchdown. They defended it, so we throw the outcut to Mills. So, I mean, I think I don't know if anyone will, but people should. I think they should appreciate the way the quarterback's playing, the way the receivers are playing. We're getting open and we're catching the ball. What was Dylan today? What was it? 15 and 21, we had to throw a couple away. So there's some things we have to improve upon. I hate the way our scramble drill looks right now. Like we have quarterbacks that are running around and no one's getting open. I was losing my mind on the sideline on that. So there's some things we have to continue to improve upon.
About that defensive touchdown, and how important is something like that in this grand scheme of things? And I did see it go up to William after just about the security, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I yelled at him. And I told the guys at halftime, how great is this? We're up 38. And and I didn't yell like I did last week, right? But I walked in, I said, hey, guys, was the end of that half good enough? And they were like, no. And I said, how great is this? Like, we're down 38-0, and you guys aren't satisfied. Williams, I said, Williams, how many touchdowns you scored in your life? That's his first ever touchdown. That guy's one of the most amazing athletes I've ever seen. It's his first ever touchdown. And he went off the field. He's looking at me. He's going, because, he kind of, the guy was running to punch the ball out. I said, how great, how special is what we have? I don't know what the final record will be at the end of the year, but I love this team because they aren't just beholden to the results. They're like always trying to get better, and they understand like, hey, there's a standard. And so if we don't do it, but I was proud of him. I was happy to see him score. I was happy to see all the different things that happened today. And, we got another fumble. Derek Wacker looked like made a great play down there. I mean, Wacker's a really good football player. So, there was kind of the concern I had too, just for the record, was that the walk-on program would die. The walk-on program might die with, the proliferation of the 105 roster and all that. And Derek Wacker, man, that thing's alive and well. He's starting on our kickoff return and, forces a fumble. And so he's an excellent football player. So it's good that, we got a couple turnovers and scored on defense. We scored on defense last week, scored again on this week, and great teams score between, 8 to 12 times, 11 times. I think the all-time mark here is 10 times, and so obviously that's really hard to do, but it's good to get one in there. Okay. All right, thank you guys. Thanks.
All right, there is Matt Rule, his post-game thoughts after a Nebraska victory today. The final score 59-7. Our supporting sponsors of Big Red Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. I was trying to do the math in my head, which is never a good idea. But sadly, the secondary today slacking off just a little bit. Nebraska has held their opponents to under 3 yards per pass attempt each of the first 2 games. Today, it was a robust 3.7 yards per pass attempt. So John Butler has some work to do this week to fix that problem. But in all seriousness, 3 straight games holding a team to under 100 passing yards. I could probably look this up, and I might.
This is right up your alley. I mean, you could find it.
Yeah, well, it depends if it's on because my numbers only go back to 2004. I guarantee you there were some games playing the Big 8, when they were beating up on Kansas.
I was about to say,
Oklahoma State,
there's got to be
Missouri.
like a back-to-back Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
Oh, wait, no, looking in the wrong column, dummy.
Dang.
All right, well, that's my goal for today is to find the last time Nebraska has held 3 straight teams to under 100 yards passing. And it's I'm still going.
Where do we want to set the over/under mark in terms of year? Like over under 1997? Was it before 97 or after 97? I think that would be a.
Now
good
my numbers
mark.
only go back to 2004.
Okay,
so
so
I can tell you this much: the vaunted 2009 defense only had 1 game where they held a team to under 100 yards passing, and that was appropriately enough against Arizona. And that was Foles. That was Nick Foles.
Whoa. Okay.
That year. So that's
future Chicago Bear. Nobody remembers him anything else other than
it
that.
hasn't happened since at least 2004.
Wow,
That's as far
that's
back as I can
incredible.
go. But
Keith Mann will have that.
Oh, he probably is. 402-951-1620. That is the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Get in now. I mean, I know it was an FCS opponent, but this is your time to boast. This is your time to brag. This is your time to look ahead to Michigan. We can now officially say it is Michigan week. Michigan had a big win today, big bounce back win. So whatever your thoughts are, 402-951-1620, and we will take your calls on the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Matt and I will be back, and we'll get this thing rolling officially right after this. Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. By No Name Nutrition, live a better, healthier, more natural life. This is Big Red Overreaction on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The King.
I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. We know your time matters, so when you call us, we answer on the very first ring. That's our promise to you. We value your business and will treat you like a friend.
Now back to Big Red Overreaction, presented with limited commercial interruption by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
All right, Matt, I'm back to 2001 now.
I actually communicated with some comms people, and they're on it. So
they're on it.
They're
Okay,
trying to figure it out.
Now they're going to send it directly to us. Is it because this is our exclusive idea? Right?
Yes, I have to send out.
Now
I got to
don't have
send out another thing. I got people.
Now I don't need to just be distracted. I can focus on the
No,
show.
we can have the people who literally are paid to do it. Go and do it.
That is true. That is a good point. 402-951-1620. It is Big Red Overreaction. He is Matt McMaster. I'm John Bishop. The supporting sponsors this season of Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Phone lines are open now at 402-951-1620. The final numbers today, fairly balanced. 362 through the air, 23 of 29. Latif and Gramstad were a perfect 8 for 8. So Dylan is holding everything back. A mere 15 of 21 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quentin Ives, I mean, all of a sudden the guy's hamstring gets better, and he immediately, it's basically like what happens, when you have to leave the lunch line and someone saves it for you. I mean, basically his place in line as number 2 running back was saved for him. But another good effort, 85 yards, 7.1 yards per carry, had another touchdown. Emmett, 78 yards today on 13 carries. I was a little surprised that, and you heard from Matt Rule that, let's see, he held out. Who did he hold out today?
Mekhi Nelson.
Mekhi Nelson.
So he kind of muttered under his breath. Did you hear that? He was like, there's a standard, but he kind of pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like maybe he did something in practice or something away from the field.
Yeah,
that maybe disappointed him a bit. So he didn't get a shot, but we saw several guys carry the ball today. And TJ Lateef, another great day. And we've already got the comments coming in about we're not going to hold on to him. He's not going to be here next year. Someone's going to outbid him. And honestly, that's a good problem to have, right?
Oh, I agree.
That Lateef has put some really good stuff up on tape so far. Now, I don't know how much we're going to see him the rest of the season. We'll probably see him against Northwestern, probably see him against UCLA.
I mean, you never know. I
never know.
I
you
refer.
Never know what.
No. I won't make any Northwestern football comments today
Okay.
on this Big Red Overreaction.
Fair enough.
It is a good problem to have. It's a problem I refuse to think about, though.
Well, right now, it's 3 games into the season.
All it's ever going to do is just make me unhappy or make me stressed or whatever, thinking about like the portal, the different quarterback combos that you can have. I think we should just all feel really good that there always has been this thing talking about this team of like, what if Dylan gets hurt? Like, oh my God, this team is screwed if Dylan gets hurt. And yeah, definitely they still would be in a very, very bad spot if that were to happen. No one's saying that they wouldn't be, but you definitely do feel more comfortable after seeing what Lateef did in the last 2 games that they could create something on the offensive end regardless of who they're playing with his skill set.
They'll be able to run their offense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like you'll have to dial back too much. Now, certainly he is not as advanced in reading defenses and, moving protections as Dylan is, but you would like to think you would feel that if it was a necessary situation that Lateef could come in and Dana Holgorsen is not having to eliminate, portions of his playbook, that they would be able to continue to run the offense as constructed.
Okay, here we go. The Huskers held Houston Christian to 67 passing yards after limiting Cincinnati to 69 passing yards and Akron to 62 passing yards. This marks the first time Nebraska has held 3 consecutive opponents to fewer than 100 passing yards since 1990, when NU limited its first 4 opponents to fewer than 100 yards through the air.
Well done, University Communications staff. So you said
That was
1990. The first 4 opponents, an ugly Saturday night game against Baylor. They shut them out. Northern Illinois, 60-14. Minnesota, 56-0. And Oregon State, 31-7. So that is the last time. Now, okay, now they said the first 4 games.
First 4.
According to Husker Max.
Oh.
Oregon State threw for 104.
I don't have a box score.
I've got the Husker Max in front of me.
Let me see.
Minnesota 63.
That's first 4 opponents.
Yeah.
That was Keith Mann, by the way, with the assist.
Oh, okay.
That was his mass email. So he knew it before we even thought about it. Keith was all over it.
I'll be curious to see, because it is true they did hold the first 3 opponents to under 100 yards, but according to Husker Max, Oregon State had 104 yards passing, so it wasn't 4 in a row, according to them.
John, I look at these first 4 games that Nebraska in 1990 played, and I'm just disgusted at Indiana.
Now, I'm not here to defend Cream Puff Kurt.
Sure.
But it was a different time back then.
Oh, I
right?
know.
I mean, they scheduled differently, but you're right. I mean, you don't have to go back all that far.
No, not at all.
And you'll see teams with very familiar names, and you will see no FCS back at that day. It was called Division I AA. You will see none of that nonsense.
And look, we go back to 2006, right? They played Nichols and La Tech. It wasn't as if it was 20 years ago. It was more so 30 years ago. But still, they only had one quote unquote warm up game, which is wild. And now we have teams who take 3 of them. Crazy.
That's true. No, that's true. All right. Well, first time in 35 years that Nebraska has held 3 straight teams to under 100 yards passing. Thank you, Keith Mann. Thank you, folks at University Sports Information. 402-951-1620. Here is Nathan in Ohio. Hi, Nathan. You're on Big Red Overreaction.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller of the Big Red Overreaction. I'm only calling because Matt McMaster's hosting. But anyways, I just wanted to offer up. Hey, not a problem. Here for you. I'm just going to offer up, you know what? I'm going to smoke an Oliva 135 today as a victory cigar. So
you're going to waste a victory cigar on today?
First of all, an Oliva 135 is kind of at the bottom of my humidor, so it's not.
Oh, okay. All right. Now that's acceptable.
And first of all, you always need a good excuse to smoke a cigar, right?
I couldn't agree more.
Whatever.
Couldn't agree.
Well, if it's that good, you should never have an excuse. You should just do it whenever you feel like it.
Well, you know, some days I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to smoke a cigar. So
cool. All right.
I'm not pulling out the Cubanos. I'm not pulling out you know, like the chocolate siesta. Or
you're not taking out a Cohiba or a Romeo or Julieta, correct?
Yeah, correct. So I'll leave those in the humidor, but definitely going to pull that out. I think it was a great. Oh, and I just want to point out that the 126 points that we scored, 127 points, is about half of the total points that Iowa scored all of the season in 13 games last year. So in 2 games,
that's great.
50%, and so. And also, TJ Lateef is still ahead of their starting quarterback.
Gronowski?
So we'll see how it ends at the end of the day. But he's still TJ Lateef himself is still ahead of their starting quarterback in yardage. So you know what? Suck on that, Iowa.
Hell yeah.
All right, Nathan, appreciate it.
Well my God, John.
By the way, Iowa has not scored yet. They also haven't played yet.
John, what if TJ Lateef is the next quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Now that would be a tough pill to take. A very, very tough pill to take for people around here.
I think TJ knows better. I think not just to not make Nebraska fans mad. I think that we're at the point where it's not the quarterback. It's got to be Iowa, right? It's got to be what they're doing because they've brought in so many different guys now and they still can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. 402-951-1620. Lines open right now. By the way, I don't know what has gotten in. I every time I turn my head to the left, someone is scoring. Tennessee has just scored again. It is 14-7. I saw Gunnar Stockton get a rushing touchdown. Georgia answering Tennessee's first drive. But how about the fact that Josh Heupel's teams, he's at 14 points right now. That might be, I think, what was it? I think 17 is the threshold. I think he's never scored more than 17 on a Kirby Smart team. I'd have to double check that, but I remember the stat from yesterday. But, oh, yeah, deep ball.
That was a great throw by Aguilar. My goodness.
Good throw, and Georgia man fell down, and Brazil high-pointed it. So they get about a 75-yard touchdown pass.
Your co-host has been very nice enough to lend us his YouTube TV. So we have a quad box going on at the studio. It's absolutely incredible. But Joey and I are locked in right now on Youngstown State versus Michigan State because we're both a part of the Aiden Childs Hive. So we're trying to.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
No, we're both the leaders of the Aiden Childs Hive.
I see.
Yeah. We're a part of the Aiden Childs fan club because we think he's going to be incredible.
By the way, the last I checked, USC at Purdue is under a weather delay right now. So
do they really need to play that game, John?
Well, they do. They do so that I could get 3 touchdown passes from Maiyava. If I do, thanks to Dylan going over I think it was 173.5. Thanks to the folks at Underdog Fantasy, I will hit my first ever Underdog Fantasy wager. So go Jordan Maiyava, get 3 touchdown passes today and be done with it.
Yeah, the mixed sports book has Bud Crawford at plus 145, and then we have a New England tomorrow plus 1.5 at Miami.
Okay,
to play. We've been rinsed. So we've been taking it one bet at a time here. We're not stacking up the card like we did the last 2 weeks.
402-951-1620. John and Matt with you. Big Red Overreaction. Let's go to Mike, who is up next. Hi, Mike. Thanks for waiting.
Howdy. Real quick, not to be Debbie Downer, I guess, just still a little concerned with some of the decisions on kicking specialists. And I mean, Hole's kicked 2 out of bounds now, if my memory serves me. Curious why they still have him back there. And then second thought was how much you think tickets will be to UCLA and the Rose Bowl. But that's what I got. Thanks, guys.
Can't be kicking it out of bounds, John. It's
No.
unacceptable.
I mean, I guess today is as good a day as any to try Hole again. As remember, he started the year at kicking off, and then he kicked that one out of bounds. They went to the conspiracy, and he finished it. I guess going back to him, there was no harm in doing that today. But I mean, I'm at this point, I think you got to have Kunanen kick the ball off because you don't need to be giving teams free yards. I mean, this is twice now that it's happened, twice in 3 games,
John,
where you've kicked the ball out of bounds. So I think cut the chase and go with Kunanen.
John, I don't have your book of nicknames in front of me. Who's the conspiracy?
Kyle Kunanen.
Okay.
Because
why?
Because if you look at his last name, you could pronounce it QAnon.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's clever.
QAnon. Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
Yeah. He is a conspiracy.
I still love Jarrah.
Well, yeah,
that's a great one.
Jarrah, live forever, my man.
That and tone, because I grew up with 3 tones. So like you calling Tony Petiti Tone is so funny to me. Tone.
Big Red Overreaction presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally and by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. I'm double checking on that Oregon State. Even the official write-up from the university says that Oregon State had over 100 passing yards. So
that's really bothering you. I mean,
no, it's not bothering me. I just want it to be accurate. Listen, they got 3 straight. They didn't get 4. At least according to Husker Max.
What are the odds that Nebraska gets 4 straight?
I
don't think it's as low as you might think. I think it's low. Whoa. I think it's low, but I don't think it's like in the under 1%. He could be. He threw back. He was 9 of 24 last week against Oklahoma.
Right.
He did not throw the ball well. And on top of that, I think that after how he performed against Central Michigan, they might literally just be like, all right, we're going to run the ball a crap ton, and we're not going to try and push the ball down the field. Low chance, very low chance.
Yeah, I'd say the chances are less than 20%.
I would say
hold them to under 100 yards.
I would put that like
10. Yeah. By the way, Underwood today had 349 total offensive yards. For a guy who I believe the line was 6 carries for -5 yards, today he went 9 carries for 114. So just getting Sharon Moore out of the football offices has unleashed Bryce Underwood. And just in time for a Nebraska defense where we still have questions about the run defense, especially when the quarterback is mobile. 402-951-1620. Before we go to break, here is Scott.
How's it going, guys?
Good, my man.
As I'm dialing, Matt just stole my thunder, and I am late to the show here today, so if someone else brought it up, I apologize. But yeah, it does seem like Latif is just auditioning to be coached by somebody. And yes, my God, what a nightmare it would be for him to go to Iowa. This kid's got talent. He's got a cannon for an arm, and you can just see other schools. He's a QB1. I mean, he looks like a QB1. It's great that we have him as an insurance policy this year. But, I mean, do you seriously think he'll be here next year?
I don't think it's out of the realm, but I think it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough to hold on to him because in this world now, listen, there may be other frontline starters. I mean, I wouldn't expect a guy who, we might see in 2 or 3 more games this year, he'll get attention. There's no question about it. But it's honestly going to be, I'll be curious to know, and we never will find out officially, but how Nebraska decides to budget, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got X amount of dollars in rev share, and then whatever you can get in NIL. And, how much are you willing to spend knowing that you've got little Raiola coming
and
next year. And then, they're in on who's the
Trey Taylor.
Yeah. Trey Taylor in 27. So, you always got to prepare for these things. Like we said, it's a good problem to have, and it's something we can worry about in December.
Sounds good. Thanks for taking my call.
See you, Scott. Let me
Yeah,
check
go ahead.
real quick. I'll see. Trey Taylor. His high school team lost yesterday, but it was a pretty good game against a good team they played, and they played Providence Catholic. They're a pretty decent team in the Chicagoland area.
402-951-1620 on the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Get in now. We've got open lines for you. Supporting sponsors of Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, by Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and by Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. We'll come back with more, including a baseball update.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's the Cubs, then
It is.
Okay, then I'll take that.
All right, good enough. 402-951-1620. Get in now. The more calls, the less baseball we talk. On 1620 The Zone and over on 1019 The Keg.
Now back to Big Red Overreaction, presented with limited commercial interruption by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair. And by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. On 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Supporting sponsors of Big Red Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more, and by Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts, 402-951-1620. On the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline, get in. We've got some phone lines open for you. Someone asked earlier just how good is Cincinnati. Now, they are playing Northwestern State, all right?
Yes.
So just like Nebraska, FCS opponent, Cincinnati just scored their 5th touchdown of the first quarter.
We got that question 30 minutes ago. What do you mean they just scored their 5th touchdown?
Their 5th touchdown of the first quarter. 2:46 left in the first quarter. It is 35-0 Cincinnati. Sorsby is 8 for 8 for 169 yards and 5 touchdowns.
What would the spread be between Akron versus Northwestern State?
Akron
minus 14.5?
7.5.
That'd be a terrible watch.
Remember, Akron's bad.
I wouldn't watch that if it was in my basement.
Akron is bad. I should do. Oh, I hit the wrong F. I should see. Is Akron playing today?
They're
playing tonight against UAB as the quest to score their first point continues.
Will Trent Dilfer allow them to do it?
I don't know. Good question.
I can't believe Trent Dilfer is still coaching at UAB. I feel like he's been there forever.
If they give up a point to Akron, they should fire him on the spot. So much as a point. Just say we're done. Sorry, we can't have this. Here is
a clause in a contract.
I can't tell because it's cut off on my screen. Is it KC?
No, KG.
Oh, KG. I'm sorry, KG. You're up, buddy. Go ahead.
KG.
He's gone. KG is gone. 402-951.
What's the Cubs update?
All right. Well, you ask and you shall receive. So today, Anthony Rizzo was honored because he is retiring.
Yes.
But he wanted to sit in the bleachers.
What a guy.
So he is in the left field bleachers. And in, I believe, the 3rd inning, Moises Ballesteros, one of the Cubs' top prospects, hit his first career home run. And wouldn't you know who won the pony? Guess where it got hit? Joey, bring up the audio. We got the video right here.
Ready to
but
go.
Watch what happens to the former 3-time Gold Glove.
I saw Rizzo jersey trying to make the play on it. I thought, could it be? Oh, Rizzy had it.
He had it. He literally hit it right to him.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
I don't know that was hit.
That's crazy.
He got up on his bleacher seat because he's sitting like in the front row of the left field bleachers, and the ball came right to him.
Only John Bishop would have a video and sound ready to go of a Cubs game.
Well, I mean,
following
the Georgia Tech game was at commercial, and I was on my Twitter, and I said, "Oh, this is too good." And I know, listen, I couldn't do this if Josh were here because he'd be like, "Hey, you're talking about baseball," and the cheers would be flowing, and then he'd short circuit something and he'd electrocute himself. So I knew with you here as a fellow Cub fan,
former Cubs
fellow Cub fan, that you would appreciate Anthony Rizzo dropping a home run hit right to him. I mean, what are the odds?
Huskers win. The Huskers win.
402-951-1620 if you want to hit us up on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter page.
Tennessee might score again.
This is incredible. I am pretty sure that they have never scored more than 17 points against a Kirby Smart defense.
They haven't beat him since 16, which I think was what Kirby's first year, right?
Was that his first year?
No, or maybe it was.
I can't. I don't remember.
I think he was the head coach because the last time Tennessee beat Georgia was that Hail Mary from Josh Dobbs to Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was 16. It was Kirby's first year.
Here, let's see.
It was his very first year. I'm looking at it now. They were 8. They were 7-5 that year.
Okay, so the Volunteers averaged just 14 points in the games against Kirby Smart's defenses, and or against Kirby Smart and Georgia. I should clarify because this doesn't count Alabama. They've never scored more than 17 points against the Bulldogs.
That's crazy. So I think that I saw a stat. It was 13.5. They've averaged 13.5 points.
Yeah,
against them, and I'm pretty sure in that first game in 2016, like it was incredibly. Oh, actually, no, it would have been because they didn't score more than 17. So this Pitt West Virginia game is still tied, and then Michigan State is not playing very well against Youngstown State, and then this USC Purdue game, which has to get played for some reason.
Well, it has to be played again, so Maiyava can get his 3 touchdown passes. Once he has that, you can just stop.
Just cancel the game. I would just cancel Purdue. Just cancel Purdue, and cancel Northwestern, and just kind of put them on the back burner for the rest of the year. They're making everybody else look bad.
Just
John.
send them to the MAC. Send them to MACtion.
God, I would. You know what? That would be incredible for the state of Illinois to have a Northern Illinois Northwestern massive rivalry in the MAC.
Oh yeah. By the way, touchdown Mountaineers.
Whoa,
6-0 over Pitt, early second quarter. So, and by the way, they announced that they were going to continue the backyard brawl. They signed a new non-conference deal, so that's good.
It is raining hard at Purdue. That's what you get for picking to go to school in Indiana. That's your fault. I'm just saying, make stupid decisions, win stupid prizes. I mean, just why would you go to school there?
Behringer fan who is not aware of how math works says that West Virginia has 6 times as many points as Pitt. It's not 6 times as many points because Pitt has 0. So you can't say 6 times as many points. If they had 1 point, they would have 6 times as many points.
Hey, did you watch that?
That's how math works.
Did you watch any of that Bama Wisconsin game?
No, I was following along. I mean, I realized it was a blowout, so I was paying attention to our game and the Georgia Tech.
It was awesome to watch. I mean, it was a bludgeoning. It was bad. Like Bama looked like Bama, but Wisconsin might be worse than what they were last season. And that's saying a lot.
38-14 was the final. Wow.
It wasn't.
Ty Simpson, listen to these numbers.
Yeah, go
24 out of 29, 382 and 4 touchdowns.
You should go, when you have the time after the show, go back and watch Bama's first touchdown in the second half against Wisconsin. They did this little fake end around type deal, and then they threw it back across the field. And while Wisconsin wasn't looking, they took their entire offensive line and they just shifted it over to the sideline. And then Ryan Williams caught the ball, and he had 6 blockers ahead of them, and he sprung him for a 75-yard touchdown.
Wow.
It was incredible stuff.
By the way, Williams had 165 yards, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Tennessee just scored again.
So now Tennessee has more. They have more points than in any game against a Kirby Smart Georgia defense, and they've done it in the first quarter.
God, what do you think Nico's thinking?
Well, right now, you know what Tennessee's thinking? I'm glad we don't have him.
Joey Aguilar?
Nico may be. I mean, not that his numbers have been terrible, but he's not a winner.
No,
he's really not. I know they got to the playoff last year, but it's
they got a lot of problems on the UCLA team outside of Nico.
Well, they do.
They don't have nearly as much talent, I think, as what they're used to and what maybe people anticipated. But I know you've done this. If you go back and you look at Aguilar's stats at Appalachian State, he was bad. He was not a very good quarterback at App State. He's 14 of 14 with 213 yards right now. Tennessee has run for 10 yards.
Heupel's a good coach. You know he is there. I mean, and that's the other thing about it. I get it. Ian Mailiava, he wanted the bag, but you got Josh Heupel.
He didn't even get it. He's paying California taxes. Even I know that's a death sentence.
But he wanted the bag. He didn't get it, or he couldn't get it because it was, no one took him, and then UCLA was pretty much the last one there. And yeah, you're right. He's now paying California tax.
I know, as opposed to Tennessee tax. The ROI in Tennessee and the housing market is actually incredibly high.
It's amazing that you know these things. You keep track.
You understand that I doom scroll all day on my phone, and I just get random fun facts.
Wow.
Or it's like you go on the YouTube Shorts and you just can't stop going. You know what I'm saying?
Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by No Name Nutrition, live a better, healthier, more natural life. Apparently, everyone is so impressed so impressed with today's results that they're not interested in talking about it.
No.
I mean, seriously, we can talk about next week. We can
we can open up the floodgates. Yeah.
We can pre-trash talk Michigan. Michigan week is now here. Both teams have played. There's no more looking ahead.
Yeah.
It's here. Michigan week is here. 402-951-16.
How about we give people a prompt? Here's the prompt. Call in and tell us why you don't like Michigan, and in particularly, what was the moment that you were like, I can't stand this program? How about that?
All right.
There you go.
What is the moment? What is the moment you realized I hate Michigan?
That's easy for me.
Go ahead, Joey. You're a first caller. Big Red Overreaction.
My sister's an Ohio State grad.
There you go. Done and dusted. Denard Robinson did it for me. Couldn't stand that guy.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do that. Why do you hate Michigan? 402-951-1620, Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. And we will have that and roll on with Big Red Overreaction. Huskers 59, Houston Christian 7. This is 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Big Red Overreaction is live, featuring the most important voice of all, yours. Sound off now. 402-951-1620. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. On 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Get the recording ready and mark this, Joey. God bless you, Matt McMaster. Comes up with a great topic, and look at this. The Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline is loaded up. Why do you hate Michigan? Why? Why do you hate Michigan? Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. By No Name Nutrition, live a better, healthier, more natural life. Penn State right now struggling with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo.
No, wrong sport.
And Mikal Bridges.
Wrong sport.
It's only 10-0 in the second quarter. Now they've been shut out, Villanova has, which is a little rare, but don't worry. They'll get Eric Dixon all fired up, and the big man will pop a couple of threes, and all of a sudden Penn State will be in trouble. It's only 10-0. This is the second week in a row Penn State struggled with a
It's been multiple weeks where they just have, like, the entire time we've quietly have just put it on the back burner that Penn State has not looked like the national championship contender we assumed they would be, as that was a great throw by Aiden Childs. Michigan State in the 2-yard line against Youngstown State right now. 9:05 to go.
You're watching that game.
Why would I not be watching that game?
Because Miami and South Florida are about to kick off. All right.
Well, we got to adjust the multi-view.
Oh, I see. Here's Jim. Hi, Jim. Welcome to Big Red Overreaction. Why do you hate Michigan?
Yes.
Well, I really don't hate Michigan because I think we're going to beat them next week. But I want to know what you guys think about the yak yards and the running backs other than Emmett Johnson. Tell me what you got, and I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Jim. Look, Ives played well, but I do think that I just need a little more oomph from him in terms of speed. I don't know.
I don't think he has that gear, though.
I don't think he does. I just don't think he's fast enough. Like Matt Rule says, he thinks he's a starter in the Big Ten. Respectfully, I disagree with that. I think he could be a good backup. He could be a good short yardage back. Like I don't think that's out of the realm. But he just doesn't have that. Like, it's clear that 21 is just the fastest and like most bursty, if you will, out of all of those guys.
Well, he's the most experienced. I mean, Ives, let's face it, on a lot of these runs, Ives isn't getting touched until he's 5 yards down the field.
He runs really upright. I know he's 6'3", but he runs like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we don't really have enough data on the rest of the guys. I mean, Emmett still occasionally, even today, I think he had, I can't remember how long the run was, but it was in the first quarter where, he juked a little bit. There are just sometimes you want him to stick his foot in the ground and go. Just get upfield. Now, against a lesser team like an HCU, you can still gain 10 yards on the play, which he did. But, man, against a better defense, when you're hesitating like that, especially when you're trying to stretch, especially when you're trying to hit the edge, you got to stick that foot in the ground and go.
He does it too much on inside zone. He tries to get too dancy when he runs with it between the guards and the center.
402-951-1620, Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Here is Kirk. Hi, Kirk. Why do you hate Michigan?
So, actually, colors are horrendous.
Okay.
I don't like yellow and black, period, because
it's maize and blue, but it's maize and blue.
It's fine.
They're blue.
Well, it's kind of yellowish, but hey, so a couple things. So, first of all, I think our backup quarterback and our running back, of course, running back's doesn't have a lot of speed, but our quarterback is really good.
Okay, yeah.
And so the second thing is the 1997 freaking split national championship is atrocious. We had to kick the living crap out of it. So thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You're welcome, Kirk.
Yeah, split national titles are a thing of the past. We don't have to worry about it anymore. It's a shame. It is a shame that we didn't get a chance to play Michigan. But you know why we didn't get a chance to play Michigan?
Why?
Because of the Big Ten Conference. Because we got to play our Rose Bowl. And they didn't want to be a part of the Bowl Alliance, which would have allowed Nebraska to play Michigan. By the way, Georgia's just broken off a big play. It'll be 21-14 PAT.
Oh, Zachariah Branch.
Yep. Yeah, I did not see. Reception. Caught one on the far sideline, ran it in for the touchdown.
He transferred from USC. He was supposed to be like their dynamite guy. He hasn't had a good start.
Great punt returner too, right?
Incredible punt returner. He's been, I think he's on the Jet Award watch list.
Well, Georgia's back within 7, but they are early in the second quarter as they have yet to find the clue to stopping Tennessee's offense. Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. Here is Jason. Jason, why do you hate Michigan?
I hate Michigan because of Desmond Howard's pompous ass. That guy has done nothing
All the day.
but claim the national title from '97. Never gives Nebraska any recognition for that season. He thinks it was all them. They're the only ones, and he represents Michigan, so they're all pompous.
I love it, Jason. I love it. Thank you for the call.
The best sign at that Corso's last game a couple of weeks ago was the sign that said the wrong guy's retiring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
was
was
something like that. It said the wrong guy's retiring and had a picture of Desmond.
I thought you were going to say the best sign was that one kid who put on game day Desmond Howard should thank Nebraska for bringing Big Ten football back so Desmond could watch Michigan lose to OSU or something like that. It's on Gary's Twitter. I know the guy who made the sign too. It's a 6.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I will accept that. Here's Scott. Scott, you're up next on Big Red Overreaction.
Yep, it's 2 reasons. One, we've already said it, 1997.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of Nebraska hates them for that. And 2, because they are the Houston Astros of college football.
Bang. Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
You're dirty, rotten cheaters, and they are going to regret the fact that they chose when their coach. First of all, who chooses when you can go on suspension?
I don't understand it. I never understood it.
That. And Michigan said, "Oh no. We'll choose the first 2 games, and he won't coach the Nebraska game." Now the irony of it is they might be better without him. Because today they put up 63 points, and their quarterback actually, looked like the 5-star freshman that he is. So it might be a mistake that they let Biff Poggi coach this team.
I refuse to watch the Netflix documentary about Connor Scallions.
Nah, it's all BS.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay, so I watched the trailer. They're trying to make it off like he's some beautiful mind, like he's Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, that he has this like gift amongst the gods that he can read signs, even though we've caught his ass and everybody else attached to Michigan going to other teams' games, buying tickets, and caught them on camera recording things. And then everyone goes about, oh, they're innocent. I've never heard of any innocent person deleting 50 text messages. If you're innocent, have you ever decided, oh, I'm going to delete 50 text messages?
Only when you're cleaning out your phone, when you're bored on an airplane. But yeah, if you just suddenly decide to do it. Oh, yeah.
Like if you're clear out your text messages?
The really old ones. Like group texts that are from people I don't communicate with. I mean, my phone goes back a long way.
You don't want that to be archived though? What if there was a funny picture or funny text from like a year ago?
Well, most of them weren't. They were just like, hey, we're meeting at such and such time to go to dinner, blah, blah, blah. Just the boring stuff. Again, bored on an airplane, didn't have Wi-Fi. That's all you do. But yes, your point is well taken. You don't do that unless you're trying to, hide something. Here is Joe. Hi, Joe. You're on Big Red Overreaction with John and Matt.
Hey, guys. First time, long time here. I don't like Michigan, all the reasons people have mentioned before, but I want to bring something up. I got married in 2017 and divorced in 2022, meaning I had a whole marriage where the Huskers did not have a winning season or make a bowl game. I got remarried in 2024. We had a winning season, made it to a bowl game. So first off, credit to me for dumping my first wife and remarrying. So credit to me.
Credit to you. Great job.
Yeah, credit to me. Some things I saw today that concern me, and you may have already touched on it. What's going on with kicking off? We've kicked it out of bounds 3 or 4 times this year. We've really upgraded special teams, which I'm grateful for. But once we get into Big Ten play, that kicking it out of bounds is really going to hurt us. And on a positive here, hey, we got through these first 3 games, no major injuries, and especially these last 2, and we looked pretty clean. So I'm grateful for that. So I'll hang up and listen to you guys. Thanks for everything.
I thought Joe was going to say there, I saw some things in this game that reminded me of my ex-wife.
By the way, one other thing that Joe's marriage never saw, a 4-game winning streak.
Oh, whoa.
Nebraska now
wild.
has a 4-game winning streak, ending a stretch of 3,248 days without a 4-game winning streak. Yes, I looked this up yesterday because I was bored. Nebraska has never gone this long without winning 4 straight games in their history, and the streak has ended, counting last year's bowl game and this year first 3-0 start. 3,248 days without a 4-game winning streak ended today. Congratulations. I'm ashamed that the fans in the student section didn't tear down the goalpost.
I still can't get over Joe being like, credit to me for getting married twice. Credit to me. It's hard to look. I haven't been married before. I've barely been in a relationship. So, credit to Joe. I guess that is an accomplishment. Kudos to the second wedding.
Yeah. Big Red Overreaction. Supporting sponsors include Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Why do you hate Michigan?
Yes.
And if you want to talk about the game, 402-951-1620. Nebraska wins it 59-7. They are now 3-0, heading to a 2:30 kick next week against the Wolverines. Broadcast on CBS. And don't forget, we will have 1620 the pregame starting at high noon from the Blur Events tailgate at Memorial Stadium. The CW broadcast is on the air. I forgot we get a ranked versus ranked matchup with Tom Brenneman on the call. So look out for any home runs today.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other thing.
No.
Look out for any appropriate words that could be coming from any part of the end zone. Just be aware. Be aware.
Be careful. 402-951-1620. Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. We'll be back with more of Overreaction right after this on 1620 The Zone and 101.9 The Keg.
(402-951-1620). Now back to Big Red Overreaction, presented with limited commercial interruption by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more. And by Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Oh, let's see. Let's get you an update on the afternoon scoreboard. It's still only 10-0 Penn State over Villanova. 6 minutes before the half. Tennessee has finally been stopped by Georgia, and Georgia's now taking over 96 yards away from the end zone, down 21-14. That game is early in the second quarter. Man, weather must be an issue down in Texas as well.
Oh.
Because Texas Tech, Oregon State is under a delay. Last I checked, no, we don't need to see. We don't need to see that game. USC Purdue is already delayed over on CBS, and Rutgers. I've been told that Rutgers has scored 2 touchdowns today. Someone in the chat said 2 touchdowns today on punt blocks.
Hell yeah!
They lead Norfolk State 19-3 in the second quarter, and in the Sickos game of the week that Matt is watching, it's Michigan State 14, Youngstown State 10. Playing for the honor of Bo Pelini. They are.
We're in the point of the BROR that Joey and I have cracked open beers.
Which one did you crack open?
Joey went with the Cornhusker Crusher, which is a favorite amongst the people here at 1620 The Zone. Absolutely incredible.
A favorite at the stadium.
I went with the Cross Strain Oktoberfest is what I went with. I'm a sucker for a good Oktoberfest. I don't know if you know that about me. I don't like pumpkin spice lattes, but I'll take pumpkin spice beer.
402-95. Trust me, that is not pumpkins. That's barrel-aged beer. That's what that is. Here's Tyler on Big Red Overreaction. Hi, Tyler. Thanks for waiting. You're on the show.
Hey, guys. Yeah, so, I don't like Michigan. Yeah, Michigan's not good.
They're terrible.
Yep. So, the last, 77 years, they've won 2 national titles. One they cheated. The other one was with us. So, yeah, they're nothing. So again, with this game, Raiola now moves into 9th all-time at Nebraska in passing yards. So not that big of a deal, but a couple more games will probably be in the top 5. And then we got TJ Lateef, little nervous. If Raiola stays, obviously he will next year. That will probably lose him in the portal. The other thing with TJ Lateef, still at this moment has more passing yards than Iowa's starting QB. So, thought I'd say that.
Great job, Tyler.
By the way, Lateef added another 126 yards to his lead, so that means that old boy there at Iowa, Gronowski, has to pass for I think something like 135 yards today.
I thought Tyler was going to be like, Dylan moved in the top 9 in Nebraska passing yards, and TJ Lateef has moved into the top 20 now.
Keep in mind, kids, before Bill Callahan arrived, Nebraska did not pass the ball.
I'm not making fun of past Nebraska, by the way. I'm not doing.
They didn't need to throw.
They didn't need to. They were so dominant up front and had incredible athletes across the field. But they just, it just is kind of funny to laugh at the fact that it took Dylan 16 games to become a top 9 passer.
Man, how lucky were those fans in left field today? I'm watching. Cubs are trailing, by the way, in the 9th inning. But Anthony,
they were up 4-3. What happened?
They choked. But they got to run around with nobody out. But he's sitting in the front row and he's just having fun with all the fans out there. How cool how lucky are those folks? They get to sit there and watch a game with a great former first baseman. By the way, Miami just went through the Bulls like a hot knife through butter. 7-0 Miami on their first drive.
Wouldn't you be nervous to talk to him? I'd be like, I wouldn't want to bother
He's
him.
hanging out with me, man. He's wearing his jersey. He's out there. He's hanging out. Absolutely. I'd love to talk to Riz. Seems like a very chill, cool guy.
Do you just nickname him like you've known him your entire life?
No, that was the nickname. That's what they called him. They called
Tony.
him Riz. No, they didn't call him Tone.
They called him no, Tony. They
Tony,
weren't.
Some did, but some people call him the Riz. Georgia. Oh no, that's a punt. Sorry. I thought for a second.
You got to take a shot. That's if you're reacting to I'm sorry. I thought you were reacting to the highlight here at Pitt, West Virginia.
No, I was not reacting to the highlight. I was mistaken. I thought Georgia was running down the field for a touchdown. No, it was actually everyone running down.
Do you
the
know
field
that?
on a
You
punt.
know that game that if you react to a highlight on a television screen and you think that it's like an actual play, you have to take a shot. You ever played that game before?
Is that the who was it that did that?
Severe does it.
We kind of did that for the Iowa Big Red overreaction with Connor and Jack because they were watching the Georgia Tech game, and one was ahead of the other.
Oh, I see. Okay, makes sense. Here's Tyler. Hi, Tyler. You're on Big Red Overreaction with John and Matt and Joey. Tyler.
See you, Tyler.
Tyler, he gone. Here is David. David, you're up next on Big Red Overreaction.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I've been a 6A to 6P listener.
Hey, man. Thank
Quite a
you.
while.
You're the man.
And I go all the way back to listening to sports radio with Gary Java.
Nice.
And I'm a 60-year-old, and I was born in Michigan, moved to Nebraska, western Nebraska, in 1977. And I really liked Michigan. I was even happy in 1997 when we shared a championship.
So you have split allegiances.
But I really, really got tired of the Michigan fans. This was in the early days of the internet. In 2000, I think it was 2005 when we played them in the Alamo Bowl.
Yes.
Yes, with Callahan.
Yep.
And their fans acted like it was such a lowly thing to have to play a Nebraska team because they were so much greater than we were. And it made me sick. It just made me sick. And I thought, you stupid, stuck up group of people. I actually went to school in Ann Arbor for a short while in college. But anyway, I just got sick of their attitude. And I love the wholesome Nebraska attitude. And that's why I hate Michigan.
You know what, David? I thought initially you were just going to be the, like both sides type guy. But then you came back, you fired in, you had that Alamo Bowl story, and you totally redeemed yourself. So congratulations, David.
Good job, David.
And
Great call.
hopefully next week you'll be happy with a 3-touchdown victory.
Well, I'm a season ticket holder in East Stadium on the 50-yard line. So I will.
Were you there today? Were you there today?
No. Today, my wife had to do some things for church, and I had some other things to do. So we gave the tickets away. It was easy to give them away.
I bet.
And no, I'll be there. I'll be there next week.
Okay.
Early to see the 95 team, who I love. The 95 team will be there honored. And Damon Benning, who I love listening to. And I'll be there. And boy, we better kick their asses.
I agree. David, thanks for the call. Excellent job. By the way, when I left today, because I left at halftime so I could get home, actually, it was a little before halftime. It was like at the 2-minute warning. The amount of people that were leaving the stadium at that time, it's like, we're done. We're out. It's 38-0. It's too hot. This is a bad game. I'm leaving.
Or maybe did they think they could get back in later?
Well, maybe, but they've announced it a lot.
That was a half joke, John. That was a half joke. I should have had a more. You don't know my sarcastic tone yet. We haven't hosted together enough. Travis writes in, the whole Michigan man arrogance/superiority complex is so obnoxious.
Yeah,
it is. The fact that that's a saying. Oh, I'm a Michigan man. Oh,
yeah.
Ugh. Makes my skin crawl. Ugh.
Supporting sponsors of Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Let's see. South Florida's got their first possession. They're facing a third down early, down 7-0. It is 21-14 Tennessee. They got the ball back, leading Georgia. 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Update on the Cincinnati game. It is now 49-0. Brennan Sorsby is now 15 of 15 for 253 yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's making up for what he didn't get in Kansas City.
I don't know if you're watching it, but it's a war right now between Youngstown State and Michigan State. I mean, these two mega houses are going at it.
No, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's great. Here is Steve. I got to find my mouse here. There it is. Hi, Steve. Thanks for waiting. You're on Big Red Overreaction with John and Matt.
Hi, guys. Hey, Matt.
Yes.
First of all, I really like the hat.
Thank you.
Is that black shirt?
Yes, it says black shirts, and then it's got an Ndamukong Suh patch on the left side of it, right here, number 93 patch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you order that? Through,
Yeah, it's from a company. It's from a company called Patched Hats. Is where I purchased it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Thank you for the compliment.
Anyway, yeah, you're welcome. Hey, I'm sorry I don't have a take as far as hating Michigan, but I'm not a Michigan fan by no means. Okay, so let's get that straight.
Sure,
I'm a Nebraska fan, but that game's going to be very, very close next week, guys. By far, it's going to be our best challenge of the year thus far. And what scares me about this game, I really think Michigan's going to control the line of scrimmages, particularly on offense. And I'd be shocked if Underwood puts the ball up 13, 15 times in this game. I mean, our back end is phenomenal. I think it's one of the best in the country. But our front defense, I'm really worried about that. I really am. And another thing that I'm worried about, I'll give you a figure. 2-23.
2-23.
2-23, not rule against ranked teams.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can be changed next week. It's going to be really, really close. But again, I'm worried about the lines of scrimmage. But anyway, I'll listen to you. Thank you. You put on a great show as always.
Thanks, Steve. Steve, you hit it right on the head. I mean, that's going to be a huge concern next week. And, you know, the only real game that you have of data, in my opinion, that you have to having any idea of what Nebraska has on the line of scrimmage is the first game. You know, how much has the front seven improved? How much has the offensive line taken the next step? Basically, you've been playing air the last 2 weeks.
That's I've never heard anyone put it that way, but yeah,
well, that's what it feels like.
No,
honestly.
I agree. I agree.
Again, they're outside of letting your backups get development. I don't think there's anything good from playing these games. I really don't, and I can't stand it.
I think there's a confidence thing. I think that comes from it, and I also think that there is like things that you can maybe focus on a little bit more and clean up as a number one. But I definitely do think there's a ceiling to that. Like, I don't think there's any point in playing these teams twice. You know, like I don't think you need two of these games. You probably just need one of these games. Do you agree that the gap between Michigan's offensive line and Nebraska's D line has closed since 2023?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because this is a new defensive line, right?
Sure.
So I next week will tell me, because I really don't know. I mean, I think Nebraska's talent off the edge, the talent, the athleticism is there, but how good is it in a practical application against a team like Michigan? I don't know.
I do think, though, that the Michigan offensive line is definitely not at the level it was a couple of years ago. Like, they're not mauling people like they used to. So
that's it. I mean, Justice Haynes, I mean, they're going to use him a lot. And as we mentioned earlier, you know, Underwood ran today for the first time this season, and it went very, very well. So that'll be things that they put on film that, Butler and the company are going to have to look at, because, you know, again, the biggest concern I had this season was the run defense.
Sure.
These first three games haven't changed that one iota. So, next week will be be a big tell.
The scary thing about Michigan is that it's a fact that everything about that team is the best that Nebraska has faced up to this season. And I think that's always scary when you play a team that, like, everything that you've seen Nebraska do has been against worse competition from top to bottom. Like, that's the unknown is always very scary. I do think, though, that the Cincinnati run stats have definitely been overblown because of Sorsby's running in the second half. At the same time,
those two backs averaged over 5 yards a carry.
But what I was going to say, though, is that Underwood also is a running quarterback. So it's like you're massively, like, you can't use that caveat that, hey, maybe the actual running backs can play well. You're going to be playing a team, especially with how they played against Central Michigan. They're going to use Underwood, and he's a stallion. He's a hell of a runner.
Let's see. Texas is up on UTEP 7-0 after one. Iowa State's up on Arkansas State 9-3. That's early in the second quarter. So those teams struggling a little bit with lesser competition. And Penn State's lead is only 13-0 with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter against Villanova. Big Red Overreaction presented by Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, by Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more, and by Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Todd and Hunter, stay right there. More of your calls coming up. Why do you hate Michigan? We'll take those answers as well. 402-951-1620 on the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline, and Overreaction. We'll be back after these messages on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Now back to Big Red Overreaction, presented with limited commercial interruption by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. John and Matt with you here this afternoon. Got two more segments. 402-951-1620. Nebraska 59, HCU 7. The only touchdown scoring on a broken play as Zayshawn Edwards was shut off on the right sideline. Did a little dipsy-do, back out the back door, went in from 45 yards out. But other than that, Nebraska holding the Huskies to 160 yards. Third straight game of under 100 yards passing. First time since 1990 that's happened. 93 yards rushing. Nebraska goes for 554 total, 362 through the air, 192 on the ground. Nebraska averaging 8.3 yards a play, while HCU held to just 3 yards per play.
When was the last time Nebraska got back-to-back shutouts, John Bishop?
Let's see. Good question. I want to say either 79 or 80.
Whoa.
They had a couple. That may not be right. They may have had some in the early 90s.
I'll look that. I will look.
All right. You look for that. I will look for Todd. Hunter's been waiting longer. Hunter's call is brought to you by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. Hello, Hunter.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hunter the Husker, 3-year season ticket holder.
Oh yeah.
I just have a question. You were there today. You might call me. You might think I'm crazy. Can Dylan throw a deep ball? I saw him miss 2 today. He underthrew Dane on 1, and he chose the check down instead of getting it to Isaiah. This was early in the game. I'll hang up. I'll listen to you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
So Dylan can throw a deep ball. I'll tell you this much, Matt. The one that was it Key that caught it.
Mm-hmm.
It hung up in the air for a long time.
Yes.
The wind definitely affected that, and it didn't have a great spiral to begin with. Occasionally, Dylan's ball will come out a little wobbly, and if you have any wind resistance whatsoever, it's going to hold it up in the air. And I think that's what happened on that.
Great call. Like that's literally exactly what happened. And they did a great job of the broadcast pointing that out, saying, hey, the wind was howling right at him. Funny enough, though, that ball being underthrown to Key, if it was thrown perfectly to Key, there was an opportunity for the safety to come down and knock it out of Key's hands.
Right.
So it actually was the best case scenario that he had to come back for it and cut under the guy who he was covering. So I don't think he did it on purpose. I don't know. That's a question we're gonna have to wait and see, honestly. Like I don't think you can say, oh, for sure, without a doubt, Dylan can throw a deep ball, because he couldn't last year and he hasn't had too many opportunities against good competition to do it.
Well, yeah, we will see, but you can't argue with the success so far.
No, can't at all.
Extremely efficient. No turnovers yet. Did Nebraska have any turnovers today? No, they did not.
No.
So they are now +4 for the season, I believe.
Yeah, but they kicked the ball out of bounds, John. They kicked it out of bounds. It's ridiculous.
Here is Todd. Todd's call brought to you by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. Hello, Todd.
Hey, guys. No overreaction for me from the team or coaches. We're 3-0. That's all I give 2 shits about.
Whoa.
My overreaction comes from while I was driving to sight in my shotguns, called patterning them. I couldn't find the damn game on the radio. 590 didn't have it. You didn't have it. KFAB didn't have it. 1290 didn't have it. I ended up finding it on 660. Am I just been in the bushes the last 2 months, or how did I not know this?
I don't know.
Todd, interesting question, Todd, but no, 1620 The Zone is not going to be airing the games. Neither are any of those other stations you mentioned. It was one of the lesser reported stories in Nebraska football media history, given usually how important it used to be where the radio station is. But yeah, they've moved frequencies in Omaha, but it really wasn't publicized that much by the mainstream press.
I only saw one story on it when it actually happened. I think it was on 3 that did it.
Used to be a much bigger deal when those things would happen.
I'm all the way down to 1982.
All right, so it's in there somewhere. I want to say 79 or 80. They had 2 or 3 straight shutouts.
I think 80. There was a year, I think it was 90 or 89, where they had 2 shutouts in 3 games.
Right, but not 2 back-to-back.
Not 2 back-to-back.
Okay.
We're getting
Big Red Overreaction brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. By No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. Here is Tim. Tim is up next. His call presented by Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair. Hi, Tim.
Hey guys, don't like Michigan at all.
97, sure, but I blame Ryan Leaf more for that. Just Desmond Howard. That's it, pretty much.
Yep.
As far as the game today, not much negative you can take away. Concerns the interior of that defensive line against the run, and quarterback contain. You struggled to do it in week 1. It's not going to get any easier next week.
No, you're right.
Good call.
It's not. Now, the difference is Underwood's not as seasoned as Sorsby is. And I'll be curious. You know, I saw a lot of the Oklahoma game last week. That's the only Michigan I've seen this year. I didn't come away terribly impressed with their receivers. And so maybe one of the differences will be that Nebraska will respect the run a little bit more and dare Michigan to throw it and just try to contain Underwood. We got plenty of time to break it down, of course, this week, but I haven't been terribly impressed with Michigan's receivers yet. Now, maybe it's changed, today. Again, they weren't playing great competition either, but I definitely like Nebraska in the pass defense sense against the Wolverines.
I think Bryce is better than what Dylan was last year. Like Bryce as a true freshman was better than Dylan as a true freshman, but I think Dylan right now is better than what Bryce is, and I think that's a big advantage.
By the way, thanks to, I couldn't catch who had said it in the comments, but Texas Tech, Kansas, 1997, back-to-back shutouts.
Well, you also, though, were spot on. 1979, New Mexico State, 57-0, Kansas, 42-0, and then Oklahoma State, 36-0. So they had back-to-back-to-back shutouts.
Nice. Way to go, 79 Huskers. Supporting sponsors of Overreaction are Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. We're going to do one more segment of Overreaction, so if you want to get into it now, 402-951-1620. Here is Trace. Good afternoon, Trace. Thanks for joining myself, John Bishop, and Matt McMaster. Trace.
See you, Trace.
No trace of Trace.
That was
no
a layup.
Trace.
That was an easy
of
one.
Trace. Here's Fred. Fred, you're up next on Overreaction. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, I assume I haven't been listening the whole time, but I assume somebody's already brought up the kickoff situation, so I won't.
Yep.
That.
They have. I will say this though, for those who didn't catch it earlier, Hull was given another opportunity to kick off, sent one out of bounds. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Kunanen's going to be back kicking off next week, and he's going to pretty much have it during conference play. That would be my guess right now.
I hope so. I was wondering. I remember in the spring at that spring game thing, and they had Alvano's leg just impressed the heck out of me. I mean, he was out kicking Brett Maher in those drills they were doing, and I figured, well, if nothing else, Alvano will be able to kick it off and kick it out of the end zone. So I don't know where he went, but neither here nor there. My other question is, and not a complaint. I'm thrilled. I'm just happy with the trajectory of the team, the program, the culture. But I wouldn't be a Nebraska fan if I didn't have something to bitch about, right? So, my one concern or question, I guess, is where is Carter Nelson? That kid's there in his junior year staring down the barrel of his junior year now, and he's made basically no impact for the most part. I hope he's not going to waste another red shirt year on special teams, or would there be a chance that they redshirt him this year? Because, I just keep hearing about how special he is, but I haven't. He's MIA.
I think there is a chance of a red shirt. And I don't even think, I don't think he played today.
He did play. He was out there.
He did?
He did.
Okay.
He was out there. He was out there early, but he didn't.
All right.
I don't think he got a catch or anything. I don't think he.
Let's see.
I don't think he did anything explosive.
I don't even know if he's had a target this year.
Ooh, good question. He might have.
He did have a. I think he had a catch last week.
No, I thought he had a target too against Cincy.
Probably.
He might have had a target in Cincinnati, but nothing last week, nothing this week.
Well, I guess then. So he's been in 3 games.
Played all 3.
He still has one more left. But right now, I mean, he is clearly the third guy on the totem pole. Clearly the third guy on the totem pole. I know Matt Rule acknowledged that he had double hip surgery this past offseason. So how much of that is still holding him back? But yeah, right now, I wouldn't expect much out of Carter Nelson for the next few weeks. And who knows? I mean, like I said, he still can play one more game and take take a redshirt year. So we'll see. The issue is it's Lindenmeyer, it's Harburg, and do you run the risk of only wanting to really play 2 tight ends this year?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing that there's bigger, better blockers behind even Carter Nelson if we're going to, run a 2 tight set or something like that.
Right, but you don't want to necessarily tip off your hand by saying, oh, this guy's in. That means they're definitely not throwing it to him.
Yeah, so I honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him redshirt this year.
Yeah.
All things considered, if we don't need him, that'd be great.
Thanks, Fred.
Fred, appreciate the call. 402-951-1620, supporting sponsors of Big Red Overreaction, our Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. We have one more segment for you. One more coming up. 402-951-1620. You can still tell us why you hate Michigan, because Michigan week is official. It is here. We will tell you that under 2 minutes left in the first half, Georgia 4th and goal.
Oh,
and it looks like they are going for it, trailing Tennessee 21-14. Miami is up 14-3. South Florida has kicked a field goal. That is late in the first quarter.
Wow, Kirby's got no stones. He's kicking the field goal.
Oh, he's going to kick the field goal, eh?
That's what I call him. No stones, Kirby. Just no cojones.
2-yard line. They're at the 2-yard line.
How are you Georgia at the 2-yard line? And you almost missed it.
Oh, your TV's a little ahead of mine.
Okay, my apologies. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We will be back. One final segment of Big Red Overreaction, brought to you by Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts, on 1620 The Zone.
Big Red Overreaction is live, featuring the most important voice of all, yours. Sound off now. 402-951-1620. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life. On 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
Supporting sponsors include Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Well, let's see. Before we get back to the calls, final segment, by the way. John Bishop, Matt McMaster with you here on this afternoon. 59-7 Nebraska with the win. First time in over 3,200 days that Nebraska has a 4-game winning streak. Penn State has now taken a 21-0 lead over Villanova at halftime. The USC, Purdue, and Oregon State, Texas Tech games are still delayed by weather. So they are still in a holding mode. What's the score in your sicko game there?
I believe it's still 14-10 Michigan State.
No,
but
it's 17-10 halftime.
17, yeah, that's right.
Wow, see what you've done? You've now made Joey pay attention to
Well,
that.
because we're a part of the hive. Joey's is just as much a part of the Aiden Childs hive as I am.
I'm doing a lot of things, paying attention to the TVs and paying
Joey's
attention
doing
to the calls, and then making sure we're all good on everything else.
Joey is doing an incredible job on the ones and twos. My lazy ass is just sitting here drinking a beer, watching the games as Joey is sweating back there.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking a beer too.
Well, he's making sure the sponsors are happy and everybody's getting in on the calls.
By the way, Texas is still only up 7-0 on UTEP midway through the second quarter. Arch Manning is only 4 of 8, 58 yards and a pick.
Who's the backup in Texas?
I don't know.
It's probably another 5-star from like a legacy quarterback family.
It definitely could be. Let's go back to the calls. Final segment here on Big Red Overreaction. Alex is up next. Alex's call brought to you by Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Hello, Alex.
Hey, how are you doing?
Great.
Good. Yeah, I guess my main point is I think we could be doing a lot better. When you look at Naked and Afraid, they're living in a cage by the water, and there's no reason to do that in the middle of Africa. That's exactly where all the predators would typically go and circle, especially at night. I mean, they're gonna get killed. I don't think it's a prudent strategy. If you're on Naked and Afraid, I think that you should make a proper boma in Africa. The idea of living in a cage is, I mean, it is a death sentence. There's like 8 of them. You can't fit that many people in a cage.
You can't. No.
No,
not very spacious.
You know, Alex, you know what the other advantage of being on Naked and Afraid is?
Well, what is it? Please tell me.
You don't have to watch FBS versus FCS football.
That's true.
Because they have no television.
What would your strategy be on Naked and Afraid, Alex? What would your strategy be?
No tailgating either. My goodness, they would love.
Well, there's tailgating. There's tailgating, but it's a little different.
It is a lot different
because they are
completely
naked.
Different type of tailgating. They get one turtle and share it between like 8 people. But yeah, I don't think that we have the right strategy on Naked and Afraid as far as longevity. They are going to probably have to tap out.
They're asking to be bit. That's a great call, Alex. I appreciate it.
It's good stuff.
I mean, it's totally right. I mean, you are kind of putting yourself in a bad position if you're going to put yourself in the middle of the prey, right? I mean, be better off.
So how do you win that game?
I think you just become clothed and confident.
So you invent clothes, wear them, and that's how you win Naked and Afraid.
I think you just survive, John. Have you ever watched Naked and Afraid?
No.
I've never watched Naked and Afraid.
Because most of the people that are on that show, I don't want to see naked.
Whoa. Time out. If they were people that you would want to see naked, would you watch Naked and Afraid?
Well, of course.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So they're not casting the right people, is what you're saying.
Possible.
Okay.
Here is Wes. His call brought to you by Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more. Wes, which reality show would you like to break down today?
Yeah.
The reality show I'd like to break down, I think it happened last year. It's happened 2 out of the last 3 years. It seems like the Skurs are on a good trajectory. We are blowing opponents out. We are well on our way. We're back, baby. We're back.
Back.
No reason to worry about the Husker football team. How are we feeling December 7th? How does Creighton plan to handle Rink Mast? That's my question.
How do they plan to handle him? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to see. You know, Owen Freeman. Owen Freeman knows how to play Rink Mast. You know, he was in the Big Ten for a couple of years.
They couldn't handle Derek Walker 3 years ago. They couldn't handle us last year when we really didn't have a big man. Owen Freeman,
well, you know,
man, I get it.
Right. They dared Creighton to shoot a ton of threes, which they did, and they famously only hit 10 out of 40. Normally, they don't shoot that many threes. So we'll see if that strategy is still employed this year. Remember, they did that because they were hoping to, negate Kalkbrenner. Now you don't have Kalkbrenner, but there might be there might be 5 shooters on the floor now, so maybe it'll have to be a different defensive strategy. We'll see.
Shall we say hashtag let it fly?
Of course.
Thanks, Wes.
More importantly, let it make. If they had made a couple of those threes, it would have pulled them out of that defense.
Again, John, it's a big red overreaction. All right.
I'm only responding to the callers.
We don't need to rehash what happened last year at the Chai.
We can only respond to the callers, who are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, Play Longer, Win More, and Peerless Energy Systems, your local compressed air systems experts. Dave, what would you like to break down?
See you, Dave.
He would like to break down silence.
That's probably better than the last 2 things that we've had to break down: Naked and Afraid and Blue Jays basketball.
Well, here's George. George, you get to be the last man standing.
Yeah, the call about Naked and Afraid I thought maybe I called into the wrong number or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah,
But,
we're your full service radio show.
I guess so. Okay, am I right where today we didn't punt the ball, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Second game in a row.
Okay, and last week we didn't punt the ball.
Correct.
Okay, Matt, you can go on your obscure. And when was the last time that we played 2 games without punting?
Did Keith Mann and company look at that one up?
Let me scroll down.
Well, okay, can't say that because they did turn the ball over last week and they turned it over on downs. Today they didn't punt. They didn't punt, didn't have a turnover, but they did get stopped on 4th down, right? Did Nebraska get stopped on 4th down?
Yes, they did. 4th and goal at the end of the game.
Drive.
That's right. So yeah, it was a very efficient day. Looking at the drive chart here, I mean, if you take out the drives at the end of the half, Nebraska scored on 8 of its 9 drives.
That's great.
8 of 9 drives.
And they were
if you take out the end of half.
And they were
right.
Okay.
Yeah, you take out the end of half drives, and that's it. So not
Yeah,
bad.
I was just curious on the last time we went 2 games without a punt. That's impressive.
I will find that out. I just texted somebody.
All right, we'll find it out. We probably won't have the answer, George, for you because we're wrapping things up. But be listening next week to Gary and Matt will have the answer for you, hopefully.
I will do that.
As well as a breakdown of season 12 of Naked and Afraid.
I'm more of a Survivor guy.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? You know what would help the people of Naked and Afraid if they had no name nutrition, live a better, healthier, more natural life.
Aren't you a pro? I mean, has he not been doing this for quite a while? That was a good one. The segues have been impeccable.
You do the best you can with what you are given. So as we wrap up the show, what is going to be the biggest storyline of this week? Nebraska, Michigan, finally getting to the Big Ten Conference season. This is a game Nebraska they haven't beaten either Michigan or Ohio State since what, 12, 13?
Yeah.
Or 14, I think it was. The last time they beat either Ohio State or Michigan. What's going to be the biggest storyline this week?
I think you brought it up already. I think it's the run defense. I think that will be the Justice Haynes, and then I think a lot of people will overreact to how good Underwood looked running the ball against Central Michigan. And I think we will talk about a lot of different aspects of the game, but it will always come back to, well, if you can't stop the run, none of this really matters.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that is, to me, that's going to be one of the biggest focal points of the week is how do you stop the run? And then on the other side, how does Nebraska run the ball? Because, Michigan will load it up inside the box. They're going to probably want to dare Dylan to take some chances. Also facing pressure. Dylan really hasn't faced pressure. I know Cincinnati got him on the ground a couple of times, but I didn't feel like he was facing a ton of pressure. This will be maybe the first chance we see Dylan have to throw with some duress, because there were times today where, he was able to just stand up there and, do some things. This will test Dylan's newfound ability to change the protections. Matt Rule talked about earlier this week, something that he started to work on last year in the bowl game and that he's carried over into this season. This will be the first time he will really be tested in that.
You're alluding to it. I'll just say it. The first biggest storyline is, the run game. The second biggest storyline is, how does Dylan play? Like that will be the next biggest thing we talk about is, okay, yes, to your point, he's looked good against Cincinnati. He's looked good against these two other teams. He's shown that he's improved in some areas that don't really matter until you play Big Ten competition. So that will be the next question. The first question will be, can they stop the run? The next question will be, is he for real? Is he actually the guy? Is he? Because you know what 5-stars do? 5-stars go out and they play great against good teams, and they beat good teams.
We got ourselves a 5-star versus 5-star matchup.
But we have the more experienced 5-star, which is what I will take any day of the week.
Correct. And the home field advantage.
And home field advantage, this will be, let's eliminate the Kansas City game, right? This will be for sure the loudest game that they've played in that stadium since Colorado. I don't know if it'll reach Colorado level, but it'll be pretty damn close.
I think it should.
It should. It's
I'm
more
not saying
important
it
than
could.
Colorado.
I'm saying it should, because it is. It is more important than Colorado. Colorado was bloodlust. This is to get off on the right foot. This is to prove that Nebraska is making strides.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks haven't done that. It's a step in the right direction, obviously, but Nebraska's failing to hit certain benchmarks. And one of those benchmarks is you need to beat the teams like Michigan.
Yes.
You need to beat the teams like Ohio State. You need to beat the teams like Penn State. This is an opportunity, even though Michigan may not be as good as they've been, especially 2 years ago. They're going to be a ranked team. You're going to get a chance to get that monkey off your back. And honestly, you know what the conversation is going to be like if Nebraska doesn't win this game. See, the Akron and the Houston Christian games were just a smokescreen.
Yeah.
They're just same old Nebraska. Nebraska this next week has to end that conversation. It's not going to put it to bed permanently, because people always say you got to win another one. You got to win another one. But you can silence it for a while if you can go out there and win this game. This is, dare I say it, a winnable game.
Yes.
I think Nebraska will be favored. I think they will be a skinny favorite over Michigan. And even if they're not, Michigan's not going to be more than a 1 or 2 point favorite, in my opinion.
No.
So basically, it's a coin flip. You got to win this game.
John, don't dare to say it. You don't have to dare. It's a winnable game. Just straight up, it's a winnable game. But let's see the other side of the coin here. You're right. They lose, it'll be same old, same old. They're a smoke screen. This was a mirage. But if they win, the expectation might end up being the college football playoff, because they will be favored in every single game down the stretch, except for Penn State. So that will be the only game that they're not favored to win from here on out.
Depends on what Michigan. USC does. But you're right. Yeah.
Look, if it has nothing to do with will they actually end up being favored against USC. It's just in that moment, you're more that line will be toward Nebraska because they're at home. If they're on the road against USC, they wouldn't be. But because they're at home, they would be favored. But that's the path is there. If you beat Michigan, the path to the CFP is there. I'm not saying they're going to make it. I'm not saying they have to make it. I'm not saying you'd be disappointed if they didn't, but the path would be there. That'd be massive. That would be what year 3 Matt Rule is about.
Yeah. It's about taking that next step.
Exactly.
So we will have all the coverage for you next week, 6A to 6P, starting with Gary and Matt. Of course, Connor Happer over the midday hour, and then Josh and I on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And then next Saturday, it is again the 16:20 The Zone Big Red Sandwich.
Sure.
Michael and I from the Blur Events tailgate at high noon for 1620 the pregame, and then right after the game, it'll be Big Red Overreaction right back here on 1620 the Zone and 1019 the Keg, brought to you in part by No Name Nutrition. Live a better, healthier, more natural life, as we hope it'll be a 4-0 start.
Hey, that was one hell of a promo by you and me as to why you should listen to the programming this week. Just
Absolutely.
previewing the game. Also, too, by the way, I haven't said it.
Yeah.
I'm 4-0 on BROR.
Who's next week's show? Do you know?
I think it's Peterson.
I think it's Peterson and McMaster.
Well, Matt, you would know if you're on next week.
I am on. I think I'm with Josh.
Okay.
So I'm 4-0, baby. You got the right guy.
Next week's overreaction will be a hoot because you'll have the Nebraska guy and the Michigan guy. So it'll be a nice balanced show.
What? The Michigan guy?
Oh, yeah. Josh is a Michigan guy.
He's a Michigan honk?
Oh,
I got to ask him about that.
Big time honk. Loves Michigan.
Such a honk.
Huge fan. All right, that'll do it for Big Red Overreaction. Want to thank Equitable Bank, No Name Nutrition, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, and Peerless Energy Systems, as well as the Jay Stinnett Contracting Hotline. Severe Reaction will put a bow on this game tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and then we'll be with you all next week to get you ready for the big showdown, Nebraska-Michigan, from Memorial Stadium. For Joey Colbert, for Matt McMaster, I'm John Bishop. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go, Bud Crawford!
Hell yeah.
And we'll talk to you next week here on 1620 The Zone.